Hi everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Carla for those of you who don't know me, and over about a 14-month period I lost 183 pounds. I shared my full journey over on my Instagram. If you want to go follow that, it's at half of Carla. And I also have a couple of videos here on YouTube about how I lost weight. One of the questions that I get asked a lot is, what do you think are essential things for weight loss? So I thought today I would make a video about the things that are essential or really that helped me to lose weight and made my journey a little bit easier. I have a little guest with me today, Smushy. My cat is in a paper bag behind me, so apologies if that makes an awful lot of noise, but we're just rolling with it. Number one, I want you to know that the only thing that is essential for you to lose weight is you. You don't need any gadget, you don't need any kind of quick fix, you don't need any program. You are all you need in order to lose weight. You need to show up for yourself, you need to put the work in. And that's really the message that I like to convey, is that it's really important that you are there for yourself and that you're coming from a place of love. So just so you know that no matter what I say next, it's the important thing is that you show up for yourself, that you turn up and that you put the effort in, that you know that you are worth losing weight or doing the activities that will help you. And there's these things that I have here that I listed just make the journey a little bit easier. They did for me, and hopefully maybe they might make that a little bit easier for you as well. I have divided the things that help me to lose weight into different categories, so I'll jump in now into the other ones. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was things that are in the kitchen. In order to lose weight, you technically need to be in a calorie deficit. That means that you need to be eating less calories than your body needs for energy. That is how you lose weight. So one of the big things that needs to be concentrated on in order to lose weight is the intake of food. And as such, there are some tools that make it a lot easier to measure your intake of food. Within the kitchen, there are a few things that make life a lot easier and I highly, highly recommend having. You don't have to spend a lot of money on any of these, but just know that they did make life a lot easier for me and they took any guesswork out of what I was eating. So the first thing is a scales. This one I just got on Amazon. I don't recommend this version, but basically it's really important that you are weighing the food that goes into your body, because otherwise it's very difficult to understand how many calories you are consuming. So I would weigh like any vegetables, any kind of beans, any legumes, anything like that I was going to be eating. I would always use a weighing scales unless it was like something that was like a predetermined say like a bread roll in a pack that said, you know, this was 200 calories per bread roll, then I wouldn't need to weigh that. So just weighing scales is something that's really helpful. So for dried goods, I would always use the weighing scales, but for anything that was liquid based, I would use a measuring jug. And I just find that this removes any error that could be had from using the milliliter section on the weighing scales. I find that using the milliliter section in any type of jug, you can get these in any hardware store or home store. This is just a Pyrex one and I have a larger one as well if I'm making something larger. This would be, say, like if I'm measuring out some soup or something like that and how many milliliters are in that, I would use this. And then for smaller measurements of liquid, I would use measuring cups. So this is just another set that I bought on Amazon, and most of the measuring cups would have a small milliliter sign on them, and that will tell you how many milliliters you're using. So typically I would use this for my morning coffee when I was drinking coffee and wasn't pregnant. There's nothing wrong with that, it just makes me feel horrendous. And I would use, I think it was an 80 ml cup, so that's a 1/3 cup, and that would tell me, because trying to measure out some 80 mils in this is guesstimating again. So they're the things that I would use, the measuring devices within the kitchen that I would use. They're really loud. I'm just going to put them down. Another thing that you'll find in the kitchen that made weight loss a little bit easier for me, which might seem a little bit odd or a little bit abstract, are spices and salts and herbs. I really like to add a lot of flavour. It keeps food really interesting. And things like spices and herbs and salt are really low, if not nominal, in calories. So by, cooking some asparagus on the pan and adding, I don't know, an Italian seasoning to it, it's going to add this extra layer of flavour and keep you really interested in the food that you're eating. And then the next night, if you wanted to have asparagus, again, you could put some kind of like taco seasoning on it. So it's an easy way to change up the foods that you're eating in a low calorie kind of way. Makes life a lot easier, keeps it really interesting. You can get smoky salt, you can get wasabi salt, you can get, I really like the steak salts and steak seasonings. The one thing I would make sure that you're checking anytime that you're using some kind of salt or seasoning is that there isn't sugar or milk in it, because they can increase the calories, and milk if you're vegan like me obviously, and also they can increase the calories as well. But something like a taco seasoning can be like 6 calories for whatever you're putting onto your food. Makes it really, really simple and makes it really delicious and tasty. And it's a good way to help you to consume more vegetables, feeling fuller. And that's, if you've heard me say before, I like to eat from the abundance principle. So I like to eat a voluminous plate of food. And the way to do that in a calorie deficit is by eating copious amounts of vegetables and flavouring vegetables in different ways so it doesn't get boring. It doesn't have to be like when you were a kid and you had carrots and parsnips that were boiled to within an inch of their life and then mashed together and that was it. Let's add flavour, roast your vegetables, roasting things, steaming them and adding some different flavours in with your salts, your spices and your herbs. Throwing some parsley or some coriander. I know coriander is extremely polarizing, but it can just make life so much more interesting and make your plate so much more interesting. The final item that I used a lot from within the kind of kitchen section are reusable water jugs or bottles. I have this one, which is, I think it's a 750 ml, it's 800 ml, so it's a 30-ounce cup. I also have one with a lid if I'm taking it out. Water is really important when you're losing weight. It's vital for you in order to actually, for the biology of weight loss, for your cells to shed fat. It's really important that you have water and that you're drinking enough water. So I would try and get as many cups of water into me as possible per day. And it's a really good and easy way to keep track of the water that you're consuming when you have, again, something that's measurable. Now, of course, you could use your measuring jug and pouring that out, or just try and get as much water into you as possible. But I found that knowing that I've had maybe 3 or 4 of these a day is make sure that I'm on track and that I'm consuming enough water. And that's something that a lot of people ask me, if they're hitting a plateau, if they don't see the results that they are if they had expected. I always ask them, do they drink enough water? And it's because I know from my own experience that sometimes a lack of water consumption can lead to water retention, and I could end up not having the result on the scales that I was desiring that day. Moving on then into the bathroom. I know this sounds a bit strange, but what is in the bathroom that's going to help me to lose weight? And technically it's not going to help you to lose weight, but it's just going to make the journey easier because you're going to be able to track your progress better. So for me, one of the things that I invested in was a really good weighing scales for yourself, like a bathroom scales. This one is the Renpho one that I bought on Amazon. Again, it's amazing. I really recommend it, and it has an app that connects to your phone so you can keep track of your weight. But I used to use this one all throughout my weight loss journey, and I highly recommend it. And it's good to note as well that your weighing scale should always be in the same place and shouldn't be moved between weighing. And if you do move it, so say it's in a cupboard and you need to put it out, you need to let it rest for a minute or so before you step onto it so it can calibrate properly. But that's just a good way to keep track of your weight loss. Then another way to keep track is with a measuring tape. I highly recommend getting a measuring tape. You can get these from a haberdashery store. I'm pretty sure they have them in most supermarkets at those like end of aisle, you know, those kind of like stages at the end of an aisle. I would recommend getting this because sometimes this bad boy doesn't play ball and doesn't move in the way you want it to or you think it should. But if you measure yourself and measure in different spots, and if you want me to go into details of where I did that, I could do that in another video. But measuring, you know, your waist circumference or your hips, and then measuring it again, say a month later, will give you a good indication of any type of change in your body. And that's really important for your mental health and to keep you engaged in the journey. This is also one of my cat's favorite toys, and she's currently about to attack me because she thinks I'm going to play with her. So I'm going to put that down now. There are 2 apps that I used really regularly during my weight loss journey and that made my life so much easier. The first app is MyFitnessPal, and MyFitnessPal is what I used for the last 7 years to track my food. I have used MyFitnessPal for every single one of my calorie controlled efforts before, and my calorie intake for my really successful last weight loss journey. I used it every single day, and I would either track my calories, pre-track my calories, or track them as I was eating. It's really important to track your calories. It makes life easier as well when you're using an app, because the technology within the app can start to recognize meals that you have together. So say for example, at the moment, I am having my breakfast. It's a tofu scramble with a bagel and avocado. It knows every morning that I had that, so I just have to press a button and say that's exactly what I've had. It makes life a lot easier, and the more you use it, the more it gets to know you. So I highly recommend MyFitnessPal. It has a huge database, and I use the free version, and I've used the free version the entire way through my weight loss journey, except at one point during COVID, you got 3 months paid, and I wouldn't be bothered, to be honest with you. I would just use the free version. The second app that I used, which helped me, especially again within the measuring aspect of weight loss, was Happy Scale. And Happy Scale was devised by somebody who, a gentleman who was losing weight and wanted to keep track and kind of get statistics about his weight loss. And it shows you kind of when by the trajectory that you're going on, when you should reach your weight loss goal. You can put in goals. It's just an app that I really liked. It helped kind of keep me in the game, and I recorded it I recorded my weight loss or my weigh-ins on that app every time. It also shows you like when you're say like 15% of your journey, or when you're 50% of your journey, or when you're 100% of your journey, and like that's just kind of, for me, I like that kind of like, it's almost like getting a gold star. It just really helps me. I also tracked, I should say, my weigh-ins on MyFitnessPal, and that also does something similar, but I just like to use the 2 apps. That's my personal choice. You don't have to do that. The next section is gadgets, and there's actually only one within the gadget section that I used on my weight loss journey, and that is a fitness tracker. I had a Fitbit Versa 2, and now I have the Charge 3 or the Sense, the newest one that they brought out. It's dead at the moment. But I used that to track my walks. It helped with my heart rate so I could see the progress, and it also helped with my cardio fitness so I could see how my fitness was progressing. For me, being able to see progression on the scales with a measuring tape, with photographs as well, and with things like my cardio fitness, that really helped to keep my head in the game and to keep me motivated on days when I felt really like I didn't want to keep doing this. I could see the progress that I had made. It just really helped me along my journey, and it could help you too. And then the final thing, which isn't really directly related to weight loss, but is directly related to the type of weight loss that I did, and that was is runners. And as I said, I walked 1 hour every single day, and it was really important to me that I had really good runners that were supportive. And I also invested as well in some insoles that I got from a podiatrist, and these helped to make sure that my body was aligned. I had 2 slipped discs and sciatica when I started my journey. So in order to ensure I wasn't going to damage my body any further, I wanted to make sure that I was really safe within my runners. I've used this pair of runners. This is my 5th pair since I started my weight loss journey. They are the Nike Revolution. They're about €60 from Lifestyle Sports and I love them. But the insoles are really what's like sealed it for me. They made sure that I was comforted and supported throughout my walking. One thing I'll also say to you, just another kind of gadget thing that helped as well, is that when I was walking early in the mornings, I would use a reflective band or a light as well, just to make sure that I was seen. So that's just another little kind of gadget miscellaneous thing that might be interesting to you as well, if you hadn't thought about that as well, for safety. So guys, that is the end of the video. They are my essentials for weight loss. And as I said, none of these things are essential except you. You are what will bring you home to get to where you want to be. It's important that you believe in yourself and know that you are worth it. You're worth showing up for yourself every single day. That is doing it consistently and showing up for yourself. That's how you lose weight. So you don't need any of those things, but they will just make life a little bit easier in case you wanted that. We all like to make life a little bit easier, don't we? So anyway, I hope you guys really liked this video. Please subscribe if you like it. It really helps grow my community here on YouTube, and you can join me as well over on Instagram. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you'd like to see more videos like this. Subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Thank you so much.